Your pistol is trying to tell you something, but you're not listening. I've been watching shooters make the same mistake for years. Magazines breaking, extractors snapping in half, entire training sessions ruined because someone thought they knew better. These aren't random failures. They're warnings you've been ignoring. Today I'm sharing 13 habits that are quietly destroying your gun, plus one bonus tip that could prevent a very expensive repair bill. Let's dive in. Mistake 13. Loading by feel instead of looking. Picture this scene. You're at the range. Time pressure is building, so you start cramming rounds into your magazine without actually watching what you're doing. Bad idea. Those feed lips weren't designed for rough treatment. Neither were your cartridges. When you stuff ammunition in carelessly, everything gets bent out of shape. The first round sits crooked now. Your slide tries to grab it during feeding. Nothing works right anymore. I had a student who swore his gun was broken. Turns out he'd been topping off magazines mid-course for months. Those feed lips finally gave up. New magazine fixed everything instantly. Here's what works better. Load each round deliberately. Take a quick look at the top cartridge. Make sure it's sitting properly before you continue. Small effort prevents big headaches. Mistake 12. Keeping one in the chamber for speed. Some folks leave a round chambered as their secret weapon. They think it gives them an edge. What it really gives them is trouble. That chambered round changes everything about how you handle the gun. Clearing becomes more complex. Storage gets dangerous. Handing the pistol to someone else requires extra steps. Your extractor doesn't like staying under tension either. Neither does your firing pin system. Extended carry with a hot chamber wears these parts faster than normal use. But here's the scary part. Complacency creeps in. You start assuming whether the gun is loaded or empty. That's when accidents happen. I once taught a class where a student insisted on staying ready. During a transition drill, he nearly had a negligent discharge. He'd forgotten about that chambered round. Safety beats speed every single time. Mistake 11. Trigger finger wandering during manipulation. This one makes my blood pressure spike. Your finger has one job during administrative handling: staying off that trigger. Yet I see people constantly breaking this rule. They're wrecking the slide with a finger on the trigger, clearing jams with pressure on the sear, running administrative checks while touching the most dangerous part of the gun. That constant pressure wears your sear surfaces down. It also masks problems with a trigger that's starting to fail. Every manufacturer says the same thing. Every trainer teaches the same principle. Index your finger high on the frame until you've decided to shoot. I watched someone put their finger on the trigger while clearing a malfunction. They slammed the slide forward. We had an ugly, negligent discharge that could have killed someone. Your finger should be an observer until you're ready to fire. Mistake 10. Cramming extra rounds into magazines. More ammunition sounds better, right? So you squeeze one extra cartridge into every magazine. Wrong approach. Those magazines were designed for a specific capacity. When you exceed that number, bad things start happening to the internal parts. The springs get overstressed. Feed lips spread apart. The follower starts binding up during feeding cycles. Your magazines start failing at 70% of their normal service life. Those extra rounds cost you money and reliability. I had a friend who lived by the one more round philosophy. His magazines started failing after just a few thousand rounds. Factory replacement magazines fixed everything. Load to the designated capacity. Rotate your magazines so springs don't stay compressed for months. Your wallet will thank you later. Mistake 9. Using cheap or damaged magazines. Magazines do all the heavy lifting in your pistol, yet people treat them like disposable accessories. Bent feed lips create feeding nightmares. Dents in the body cause follower problems. Cheap aftermarket followers turn reliable guns into paperweights. I had a customer bring me a pistol that wouldn't feed anything. 4 out of 5 magazines had damaged lips. The 5th one had a cheap plastic follower that kept jamming. New magazines cost less than repeated trips to the gunsmith. They definitely cost less than a gun that won't work when you need it. Replace damaged magazines immediately. Don't blame the gun for magazine problems. Quick pause! If you're enjoying the video, tap that like button and hit subscribe. It really helps us reach more great folks like you. Alright, back to it. Mistake 8. Ignoring magazine maintenance. When did you last clean your magazines? If you can't remember, you're part of the problem. Dirt accumulates faster than you think. Lint builds up in corners. Carbon residue cakes everything together. Your follower starts moving like it's swimming through mud. The spring binds up. Feeding becomes unpredictable. I know a range regular who kept blaming his slide for feeding problems. Quick magazine disassembly reveals a soggy follower and seized spring. Months of neglect had turned his magazine into junk. Magazine maintenance takes 5 minutes. The payoff is huge. Mistake 7. Storing loaded magazines in your gun. Long-term storage with a loaded magazine seems convenient. It's actually destroying your equipment. That constant spring compression shortens magazine life significantly. It also creates a safety hazard if curious hands find your gun. I once took in a trade pistol that had been stored fully loaded for 2 years. The magazine spring was so weak, the owner didn't notice constant stovepipe malfunctions. Store your magazines unloaded when possible. If you need duty-ready status, rotate your magazines regularly. Your springs will last longer. Your family will be safer. Mistake 6. Mixing different ammunition types. Hollow points feed differently than ball ammunition. Reloads behave differently than factory cartridges. Mixing them in one magazine is asking for trouble. Different bullet profiles create different feeding characteristics. The tolerance stack-up between ammunition types is very real. I watched a 3-gun competitor mix reloads and factory ammunition during a stage. The result was a double feed that cost him the entire match. Keep one ammunition type per magazine. Consistency prevents feeding problems. Mistake 5. Forcing cartridges that won't chamber. Sometimes a round doesn't want to go into the chamber smoothly. Your instinct might be to force it. Don't do that. Forcing a stubborn cartridge damages your extractor claws. It can also damage the cartridge rim. What started as a simple problem becomes an expensive repair. There are legitimate reasons why cartridges don't chamber properly. Bad ammunition, dirty chamber, damaged feed ramp. Forcing the issue turns a fixable problem into broken parts. I repaired a pistol where the owner had mangled his extractor trying to force one more round in. He should have stopped and investigated the cause instead. Mistake 4. Using wrong recoil springs to soften recoil. Some people try to reduce felt recoil by installing weaker springs. This creates more problems than it solves. Weak springs cause out-of-battery firings. They allow excessive slide velocity. Your frame rails take a beating from abnormal cycling forces. The slide stop gets hammered. Your accuracy suffers. Long-term reliability disappears. If your slide is battering, identify the root cause. Don't use spring swaps as a shortcut solution. Mistake 3. Sloppy reloads under pressure. Speed is addictive during training, but rushing your reloads creates more problems than it solves. Dropping magazines without securing your grip invites fumbles. Slamming in new magazines without proper seating causes misfeeds. I watched a competent shooter fail multiple drills because he pulled his support hand completely off the gun during reloads. He never drove the new magazine home properly. Practice smooth reloads in dry fire first. Speed comes naturally after you master the mechanics. Mistake 2. Ignoring the chamber during cleaning. Everyone focuses on the barrel and slide during cleaning, but the chamber and feed ramp are where feeding actually happens. Corrosion builds up here first. Copper fouling accumulates faster than you expect. Small nicks cause big feeding problems. I repaired a carry pistol that had stopped working reliably. The problem was a small burr on the feed ramp from a previous barrel installation. Simple polishing and targeted cleaning fixes everything. Regular chamber inspection prevents most feeding issues. Mistake 1. Treating your pistol like a disposable tool. The biggest mistake is indifference. Not checking headspace after parts changes, ignoring unusual sounds during firing, skipping function checks after reassembly. These habits get you stranded when you need your gun most. They also create safety hazards that put everyone at risk. I inherited a pistol that had been abandoned in a range bag for months. When the owner finally shot it, the firing pin fell out. A roll pin had worked loose from neglect. Treat your pistol like the precision instrument it is. Inspect regularly. Address problems immediately. Don't postpone maintenance until later. Bonus tips that save money. Here are 2 extra mistakes that cost people money every year. Carrying with a worn holster changes your draw ergonomics. It can also cause negligent discharges during reholstering. Replace worn holsters before they become dangerous. Using mismatched aftermarket parts creates tolerance problems. Not all replacement parts were designed to work together. Cheap parts often kill reliability. Final bonus: rotate your magazines. Keep 3 sets of magazines. 1 for duty use, 1 for range training, 1 in storage as backup. Track your round count through each magazine. Replace springs after their recommended service life. Prevention costs less than broken extractors. It definitely costs less than unexpected failures in critical situations. Now you know the 13 worst loading habits that destroy pistols. If we missed anything, drop it in the comments below so we can all stay safer and avoid unexpected danger. Tell us if you've ever encountered any of these mistakes. Your stories help others learn. Subscribe to All About Survival and share this video with your friends. We'll keep bringing gun safety videos you can trust. See you in the next one.